The lonely soul wanders, alone in the walks of life. No other souls as his companion, the lonely soul wanders. Alone in the daybreak he does his duties. In the walks of life the lonely soul wanders. Alone in the life he meets many other souls, who come to be unfit for the lonely soul. The lonely soul wanders. As the days passed by, the lonely soul became more lonely, with no other souls as his companion. The lonely soul wanders. Alone in the walks of life, the lonely soul decides not to die, but to face life in all its hardships. The lonely soul wanders. That's The Lonely Soul by Anton Thermodon. As we come into a new scene, we see laid out in front of us thick black clouds off in the distance. The gray and silver lining underneath them kind of bespecked of almost daylight if it wasn't for the fact that it was reflecting seemingly up instead of down. We see the light that seemed to be cackling across it, almost akin to a sunset, is instead the burning red fires of war. The small village that is currently engulfed looks at this distance almost like a child's toy being played upon by tissue paper and strong winds. But from these castle walls, we see a young man, dirt covering his face, still for some reason shining, gleaming armor. There's gilding along the shoulder blades and the pauldrons, but he kind of watches, his peaked ears almost twitching a little bit like a cat's, the black hair playing across the outside of it. His eyes narrow a little bit. He knows what they're here for. They're here to eat. And as we come in to a brand new character, we see here, we are introduced now to Micah. Micah stands at just about a little over 5'9", 5'10". There's kind of a slight arrogance to the cast of his face, but there's bags underneath his eyes. He looks poised as though he's about to jump off of the 40-foot tall walls straight down below. He glances down to the township that surrounds these keep. The walls themselves look like impressed blackened steel. He kind of glances down at them, glad that they're here. But as the smoldering group moves towards, he knows also it's not much longer before he is going to be pressed into battle. He looks over to his side. He sees a young woman, pretty much almost the exact same cast of face, but a little bit of a joy in her eyes. There's some jewelry that seems to hang from one of her shoulders. It plays just underneath her arms. It keeps bumping up against the butt of a rifle that's slung across her back, but he knows her well enough. A rifle probably will not see that much use. Off around him, you can see a little bit more of his family's guards. They seem to be watching, looking out, but also watching him. He kind of looks over and goes, "Well, sister, you wanted something to do today, did you not?" "I think that's something to do." And she looks back and she's like, No, I wanted something a little bit easier. I was thinking about going out for coffee." "You want something?" He smiles and goes, if it wasn't for our father who made you the Marquess for this keep, I'd be likely just to abandon you." And they kind of look back out again. And the grim humor is gallows humor at this point. But there's something about them. Slight arrogance. There's obvious fear in both of their eyes. And yet there's also an excitement. A heavy, metal-looking creature stomps forward. They can feel the reverberations through their boots along this wall. And they kind of glance up. And they nod. the heavy red armor and the almost demonic face on this thing. The mask itself suddenly pops open from some unspoken command, and underneath it looks akin pretty much to a human face. There are eyes that move back and forth. There's skin stretched across the nose. There's a slight twinge and gentle smile to the mouth. But there's also a taut edge to it all the way around, as though the face itself is not so much inside the mask as much as it is the edges are stapled to it. Let me see here, a full combat cyborg, 4 arms underneath, massive weapon across his back. This thing looks like it's designed to take down airliners, and who knows, maybe it is. And he just kind of peers and he goes, "Kids, you know what today is, right?" And Micah looks back to him and goes, "If you're saying we're about to be practicing our sword forms again, I think we may have better issues." He goes, "Oh, no. You guys will get plenty of practice here. Now, today's the day to find out how good your training's really been, because I am willing to bet easily 1 full round of drinks that I will get more kills than you." And both of these young half-elves kind of turn back and smile and goes, "Well, you understand that the training isn't designed to be something like this. We went to learn nobility. We learned how to provide comfort and aid." And suddenly the mask clasps back down on the face. And he goes, Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts in the face of war, huh? Yep, this will be fun. We are going to start right off with a chaos factor of 5. Because, quite frankly, that's the best number to start with. And we are going to see how well does our new scene open up. And that is a 3. So, fate answers. 3 odd number is not an interrupt, but it is a wow. You know what? I take a full week off and I forget how to actually play this game. With a 3, that is not an interrupt. It is the other thing. The other thing that is, as I try to go back and use real paper again. Let's see. Well, I'm just going to say it is a modified scene. I think that's what it's called, so I'm just going to roll with it anyway. So we're going to roll now the descriptors. That is 8 bravely. 94. Bravely unpleasant. Well, that is a beautiful thing. The two of them look and go, well, I guess we could go see what these neighbors are about. And there's this kind of moment where some of the guards along the wall kind of look again at them. I'm going to give Micah a notice roll. This notice roll is to see if he understands how uncomfortable he and this kind of joke that they're making made everyone. That is snake eyes. Nice. Perfect. Right off the bat. Great job, Micah. I see you're going to last forever. Micah sees some of the glances back and forth. He takes it as kind of almost like a willingness by the group behind him. He goes, well, hey, you all work for my father, right? Look, we could just go down there, mop this up, be back in time for pints, dinner, some wine, whatever you may be interested in. And they look and they're like, whatever you say, my lord. He goes, yes, whatever I say. I didn't make you all uncomfortable, did I? And they kind of glance again no, never, my lord, never. Okay. So, right off the bat, we now know that Micah does not understand or pick up nuances when he is kind of being a dick. So, as he he and his sister start climbing down the stairs. This combat cyborg having to take the elevator because, of course, he probably couldn't. Well, it's probably the other way around, wouldn't it be? He would have to take the stairs because the elevator may not be able to bear his weight. Nearly 2 tons of hulking metal, standing at almost 8 feet. These things are massive. What little organic materials left still confined within this heavy steel body. But Micah and his sister, what name did I give her? He turns and he's just like, sister, come on. This is Amadee. She too starts running down the stairs. They get to the gates and they look out. The heavy fires in the distance. The smoke beginning to rise and mix in, casting a little bit more of that light just overhead. He goes, well, sister, do you want to take the way or shall we ride? And Amadee just looks, she goes, I always figured you couldn't keep up. Now, kids, this ain't time. We've got to get over there. There are gonna be people fighting soon. Can't miss that out. And that's fine. Let's let us grab Father's dragoons, right? He's not gonna need them right now. And they kind of turn and let's see. I'm gonna roll a d10. Let's see how many dragoons. 7 of them decide to join. And there we go. There is, well, let's roll. I can rely on these tables to get some of the answers I need. So let's take a look. I thought there was an army descriptor. Let's see. Army cavern. Army descriptors. There we go. Perfect. All right. 79. Suffering. I like it already. 5. Suffering animals. Okay. The dragoons show up, coming back from the stables. And while the soldiers and the troops seem well armed and rested, their mounts look a little rough. Both of the young half-elves notice. Well, actually, I'm going to roll a notice check, right? That's why they have skills, is to find out if they're doing all right. I'm going to actually roll, instead of a notice, I'm going to roll a writing check to see if you can recognize the state of these poor horses. A 3 and a 1. I'm going to use a Benny and try to re-roll that for him. There we go. 4 and a 5. The 4 blows up. So 7. So it's not with a raise, but it is a success. He reaches out and puts a hand on the side of one of them and goes, no. And he whispers over. He's like, yeah, Sergeant, come here. These horses are not fit to ride. We cannot take these into battle right now. If anything happened to them, first off, they are part of my father's estate, but also we cannot put these horses at risk. They need to be rested. Let us grab a couple of the vehicles instead. And the sergeant turns back and goes, Sir, of course, my lord, but just so you know, we are trained to fight on motorcycle or horseback, or if we go on a vehicle, we may be limited to just infantry. He goes, I'm going to give him a battle roll, because this guy actually has a battle skill. 2 and a 3. Micah kind of looks at it and goes, no, it is much better if we take the vehicles. Leave the horses here. Get them stabled. We may need them later. Yes, my lord. And man runs off. There's a heavy motor sound as 3 large jeeps, each one with a technical assault weapon on the back, pull up. And the troops begin to pile in. Micah jumps onto the side of one. His sister, Amadee, runs, catches on to another. And then the forearm cyborg stays back. He goes, all right, well, you kids have fun. We'll be sitting back here, keeping your house from catching on fire. And Amadi kind of yells over. She's like, "Aren't we having fun yet, brother?" He goes, "Oh, I think we're about to have plenty." As they progress further in, we start seeing some signs of the devastation. I want some good descriptors. Characters, nope. And as they start driving through, what's left of this town is burnt out, destroyed, broken. There's husks of houses and, unfortunately, almost flapping clothes in the wind. The bodies that are underneath are fortunately right now disguised. They look merely sleeping, except for the fact that some of them have been twisted, ripped, destroyed, damaged, brutally murdered. And as they continue flying through, we see Micah's face just kind of scrunch up a little bit. It was, these poor people. He looks over on Amadi, and she kind of looks around. She's willingly not looking down at the bodies. She just goes, "We have a job to do." And then she reaches down, whispers something to one of the drivers. He nods back up, and then she continues forward, and the Jeep begins to drift slightly to the left. And they see them. Well, actually, I don't know if they see them, because we are going to go to another notice roll. Two and a 1. No, I'm not gonna Benny that. They're gonna run into the battle soon enough. Amadi has a notice of a D8. All right, 2 and a 6. She notices him first. But Micah, as they are flying through, he doesn't see it quite in time. There is movement. He's looking forward, and let's see, stealth, they have a D6. I'm going to do a group roll. 2 and a 1, though. All right, well, they are invisible, but it's not, Micah sees them, just barely, as some of these brutish creatures begin to come out of invisibility. They begin to almost like apparate the skin of a chameleon, as the light-bending properties of them come to be, standing nearly as tall as the solid steel combat cyborg bodyguard they had. These red-skinned humanoids, they are demonic, though. Quite a few of them have like long ponytails, top knots, mohawks, and shaved heads. Multiple piercings. Sometimes, though, they look like they are just split finger bones and phalanges that have just been pushed through the skin. Their faces are distorted, rictus, but they smile, laugh, gleeful, as these creatures, with these broken teeth, broad bodies, heavy weapons, begin to step out, firing into the group. We're going to go into combat. So let's start dealing some cards, huh? The joy, the physically picking up, shuffling cards, rolling dice. It's lovely. It's also a little frustrating having gotten so used to having those automatic tables there, just being able to click on something and roll on it. I've gotten spoiled. Alright, so first things first, we need to figure out how many of these creatures are here. So it's D10. There's only 2. But then also 4 total, and then 1 large creature. The 2 that step out from behind the building, they become from transparent to suddenly flesh right there in front of them. they laugh, cackling. As they step out, do they have any... They have Brawny and Brawler. Alright, so that group gets a Jack of Hearts. 2 of them, though, set up in ambush spots inside the husked out buildings. They do not come from invisibility, as something about their bionic implants look like at times that they weren't even surgically attached, just simply pushed onto the body. They step out. They too get a Jack. Am I sure I shuffled this? I'm pretty sure I shuffled this. Do they have quick? Let's see. They do not have quick. Okay. There's the non. And then they have a leader. Hard to kill, sweep improved. He is a wild card, but he does not have it, and he gets a 6. The troopers get a 2. Amadi gets the queen, but now our friend Micah, the very first time, he draws 2 cards and has to take the lower. So he takes a 4 or a 7. So he takes the 4. So we start off with Amadi. The creatures come out laughing and cackling. She moves with an incredible quickness, though. She leaps off the back of this Jeep, holding on, but then hits the ground running. She has a pace die of 10. First in combat, she gets a D12 for her running die, which she's going to use. Alright. She makes it up to the first group, and I'm going to say she goes toe-to-toe with the leader. Given the fact she has the heroic edge, she's got loyal, code of honor. So this is a -2 to her roll. She's going to take a multi-action penalty. The first thing she's going to do is cast deflection on herself. So we're going to roll psionics, and now with magic abilities. As we saw with Keith, they have to be activated first. So her psionics is D8. That is a 7 and a 3, so that is a success. So it is now a -2 to hit her. Well, with the -2, it's a 5, so it's still a -2 to hit her. But now she is going to go in, and I believe, first into battle, where is her edges? Block, improved, champion, fleet-footed, frenzy, improved. So she gets to make up to 2 attacks. I only declared 1. So she rolls 2d12 and a d6 and takes the higher of the 2. Alright, so with -2, that is an 11, so that's 1 hit. Parry of 8, so yeah, that is 1 hit. But the other 2 do not. So she comes out swinging her. As her feet hit the ground, she begins running. She never once reaches back for the gun, either the pistol on her hip or the rifle along her back. Instead, she pushes her hand out as though she is already swinging a sword, and halfway into connecting with him, suddenly there is a flash of blue. There is a hand and a half sword that appears in her hand. It looks sharper than steel, but it glows with etherealness. The light beneath it kind of ripples and passes as she swings in with a psi sword. As she reveals herself here, she comes out screaming, laughing. The heavy blade of this non-existent but very deadly sword swings out. Alright, so that is 5, 9 damage on 3d10. That's shit. But armor piercing is 8. And this guy's armor toughness is 28. So I'm going to spend her Benny to reroll that damage. That's a little bit better. That's 16. But that's still not enough to actually beat this guy's toughness. Laughing, the creature seems to stand there. Some of its cybernetic arms pushing aside, and as she swings, it catches her arm. There's a grip. Its knuckles begin to pop a little bit as it looks her in the face and just...
Oh, I'm going to enjoy eating your intestines.
She shakes off, and now we go over to the first group of roadkill. So on their turn, let's see. They do cause fear checks, so I'm going to roll fear for the soldiers, for Micah. We're just going to say that Amadee has probably experienced these creatures before, so she doesn't have to roll for them. But these guys, let's start with a spirit roll of a d6. I'm going to do it as a group. 5 and a 3. They succeed. Micah also has a spirit of a d6. 4 and a 2. He barely succeeds, though. The revulsion that kind of comes across his face as he sees these creatures, especially some spattered with gore. Hearing this one insult his sister, he for a second almost hesitates, but then he watches as a couple of them step around the corner, and with, let's see, they're going to fire into the larger group. They, bloodthirsty, mean, yeah, they're probably going to shoot for the weaker ones first with a pulse rifle. Rate of fire 3. They're shooting as a d8 plus 2. So I'm going to... Where's the other d8 here? Oh, that blows up. Alright, so that's 15 on one of the hits. 15 minus 2 for the rate of fire, unless they have... Nope. So that's a hit with the raise against the group of soldiers. It does 3d6 damage. Armor piercing 2. Or 4d6 damage. Armor piercing 2. So, 1, 2... Alright, 8, 10... 11... And then with the raise... So, 17... 18, 19. Let's see, 19 damage. Armor piercing 2. Their toughness is 13, and one of these guys leaps out from the back of the Jeep, and then immediately takes one of these rapid-fire shots directly into the chest. He doesn't even have a moment to scream before he just drops to the ground, the gun splattering out of his hand. The next group 2 begins to fire rapid. The sound of the... Well, these are laser pistols. No, these are pulse pistols. No, those are laser pistols. Or laser rifles. So there's no sound. Just click, 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 click. Their shooting is a d8. So I don't know why I'm rolling d6s. Because you enjoyed the sound, Paul. And that's okay. Alright. That's 2 hits. The rapid fire, the laser rifles going off. 8, 9... 13. What did I say their toughness was? 16? Nope, 13. Another one of these troopers drops to the ground, screaming as their eye has been burned out of their face. No, that's not enough. That's a bunch of 1s and a 2. 3 of these soldiers get shot. 2 of them, though, do not get back up. The last one takes a look at the scorch mark just along the shoulder and just, okay. And as he comes, no, it is now the Broadkill leader. He, let's see, he has Berserk. Yeah, so he has Berserk, but he doesn't have, no, he doesn't have Frenzy. So, he's not going to go Berserk yet, but he is going to take 2 fighting attacks at -2 against Amadee. That is an 8. Yeah. And her parry is a 10. Oh, shit. All right. Second attack. 3 and a 1. He's going to spend one of his bennies. 10 minus 2 for the multi-action penalty is not enough. She begins to parry as he produces from his hip this long bladed looking thing, but as he starts smiling, it suddenly lights with a bluish black demonic flame. She barely manages to catch it on the edge of her blade. The blue patterning against the demonic colors. There's clashes, sparks of light as they just start to fight back and forth across this field as the Broadkill continue to fire into the group. We go over instead to Micah. Micah, let's see, he is hesitant, but he is also a champion, so let's take a look. Uncertain in himself, and I guess his danger sense would have worked, but you know. Alright, he is going to do something very similar. He is going to roll his psionics to see about activating deflection. It's a multi-action penalty here. His psionics is a d6. It's a 5 and a 4, so no, it doesn't activate. He gets a little concerned running forward, but he too suddenly, actually, I need to use his custom hindrance for this. He needs to roll a spirit check. It's a 4, so it's working. For a moment, he looks a little frightened, a little hesitant as he stares down into his hand. The blade itself, much like his sister's, doesn't appear, but when it does, it's not blue. It is like a jet burnished black. Sparks don't fly up in the same way that they do from her. Instead, it almost seems to be just a ghostly image of this blade. He comes running forward. His fighting die is a d8. And he's going to take one attack against her. Now he gets gang up bonus for being in melee with his sister against this brutish creature. It is a 6 and a 1, so that's a... Okay, -2 for the multi-action penalty, so that's 4. Plus 1 is 5. That's not enough to beat his parry of an 8. He comes up, and now the creature, with its other spare arms, just begins to laugh. Its claws just batter the blade aside, and it just starts looking like, ha,
yoplings.
the soldiers regroup. They turn and see the Broadkill over there. And with the shooting of a d8, I'm going to give him a group roll. So that's one hit. And they too have the same style of pulse rifles, which makes sense. They are... the Broadkill have obviously been cleaning out and stealing whatever they can. So it's 46. Oh shit, 2 of them blow up. So that's 12, 15... 16, 22. 22 with an armor piercing of 2. That's enough to beat it. One of the Broadkill, let's see here. I'm going to roll evens or odds. On evens, it's one of the Techno Warriors. Odds, it's one of the regulars. It just blasts. Its body goes ragdolling off into the distance. As one of the ones up on top of the Jeep begins firing with this heavy railgun. Just and the creature just almost seems to disintegrate. I don't believe they have natural healing roll once per day, but yeah. Alright, so that is round 1. We go now. Let's see, the troopers get a 6. Amadi gets another queen. Micah draws 2 cards and gets the Joker. Yay! Good job, Micah. That's why that thing is a minor hindrance and not a major. The Broadkill leader gets a 2. The cybernetic ones get a queen, and the regular Broadkill get a 3. So we are going to start where Micah starts off with a +2. He's going to take a multi-action penalty off the bat. He's going to... well, yeah, his psionics again don't activate. He doesn't understand it. He's trained so long, he's practiced so hard, but he is still going to take his fighting roll. Oh, that blows up. So that's an 8 versus a parry of 8. So that's a hit, no raise. His size sword does strength, which is a d6. No, it's a d8 plus 2d6. And now he is a champion too, which means this paladin-like effect takes over. His sword gets a slight holy glow as it swings. It connects with the creature. That is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. 13 total. It's not even close to the right amount. Even bringing it down to 22, I'm going to spend that penny that he just got, and I'm going to re-roll that. Because, Micah, you got to take this creature down, man. 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's still not enough. Alright. Well, he doesn't have anything that might even help with that right now. So while he still continues to fight faster, speedier than everybody else, it's not quite enough. And as his sister comes around, she kind of like barks out, "Stop fucking toying with him and just go for the arms." She's going to take her. Alright, so just make sure. Yeah. She has a -2 to be hit. She's going to use her improved frenzy. So she's going to take 2 attacks, each one with her fighting of a d12. And her wild die. And the best out of 2. Oh, that blows up. Oh shit, nice. So that's 1 hit with a raise. Her size sword 3d10 with a raise. Alright, that's 9, 10, 11, 15 plus 2. And an armor piercing of 8. That's a lot of math. It's a 17, bringing his toughness down to a 20. That's not enough though. She kind of catches him. He starts snickering a little bit more, parrying and deflecting these shots as quickly as he can. She swings again, and none of them hit. Alright, so we now go to the cybernetic ones, the Techno Warrior Roadkill, as they continue their firing. Shooting of a D8. That one hits. But not enough damage. The troopers start taking cover back behind the jeep. The impact or the burning laser smell begins to kind of commit an ozone to the area. We go now over to the troopers themselves, who are going to try to return fire. They're shooting as a D8 with go. Multi-action penalty, or no, not multi-action penalty, but with rate of fire. That's 1 hits. And you start firing back. Alright, that's 9. 12. And that blows up. 13. That's not enough. The return fire comes back, and the Broadkill start taking some cover back behind whatever pieces they can find. This last one, he is going to continue shooting. Actually, let's try something here. Let's roll combat. Combat descriptions. Where'd you go? I just saw you. Let it down and leave it on the right page. Character actions, combat. $85. Stop. 60. Stop loud. Stop loud. Oh, okay. there is a crashing noise. It suddenly just went as one of the buildings off in the distance tumbles. The sound shakes everybody. I'm going to give everyone here... yeah, I'll just give straight spirit rolls. Broadkill. 4 succeeds. Techno Warrior. 5 succeeds. The leader, who's a wild card. Spirit D8. Does not succeed. Alright, Micah. I really hope you succeed here, buddy, because this is going to be a fear check. Hate for you to die of a heart attack in the first game. Yeah, that's 4 and a 1. Succeeds. Emily. That blows up. Succeeds with a raise. And now, you troopers. I'm pretty sure you guys have a D6. You have D6. Alright. The only one afraid is the Broadkill leader. I'm going to actually say that he is now shaken. So, that'll make it easier. I'll make it slightly easier. It'll probably come out of it pretty quick. This guy falls back, taking his shots. And barking out loud, trying to cause a little bit more fear. Oh, that blows up. That's not good. Alright. That's 1 hit with a raise and 1 hit. Alright, so this is now 5d6. What is that? 9, 10, 11, 12. Oof. 18. 22. One of those troopers just drops to the ground. They look towards the sound of the explosion and they're not even paying attention. When suddenly they get caught just along the throat. Cauterizes the wound, but it's still hard to breathe through one of those. The other shot, though, impacts against the side of the Jeep. And the Broadkill leader. He gets himself a spirit check to see if he comes out of being shaken. Yes. That's with a raise, so yeah. He's going to multi-action penalty. He is going to, actually on this one, he's going to go berserk, which increases his strength to a d12 plus 6. And he's going to take multi-action penalty. No, he's going to make a sweep improved. Fighting roll with a two-handed weapon to hit all targets in reach. So he's going to make a single fighting roll and he's going to try to sweep, catching both of them. It's a 7 and a 4. Micah gets hit, but Amadee does not. She glances just underneath, the sword coming up to parry it, but what she's not paying attention to is that as the sword deflects, it catches Micah. So it is 2d12. Yeah, 2d12 plus 6 for this damage. 11, 17 versus a toughness of 15. Armor piercing 6. So Micah's about to take a wound. He's going to spend 1 Benny. And he's going to try to soak it. Vigor of a d6. Alright, with 1 success, he manages to soak it. That also burns his pennies. The fight continues, but now we reshuffle as the Joker came out. There's only 4 troopers left. Our 2 kind of like front line folks fighting against 1 heavily armed creature. And then 3 of their troopers remaining, but as we've seen now, these creatures are tough. Brutish, nasty looking demons. They seem to be reveling in the blood, the gore, the viscera, and just the excitement of trying to kill something. Troopers get a 9. Amadee gets the Joker. Micah gets the 8. Oh, nice. The Broadkill leader gets a 3. The Techno Warriors get a 6, and the last one gets a 2. So we go to Amadi, who is going to, of course, swing for the fences. Multi-action penalty. She's going to try this twice, which means she's allowed to do this twice. None of those blow up, so she's going to try again. All right, well, the 11 hits. She manages to just swing, catching this creature. And 3d10. So it's not a hit with a raise, but at least it is a hit. Oh, that's shit. Alright. So it's 4, 2, that's 8, 12. Not even close. It's not enough. She swings, trying to capture this creature's attention. She starts circling around, and even with the gang up bonus, which I need to remember to start factoring in, the Broadkill leader just cackles. He keeps catching the blades, knocking it aside. He goes,
"This is just, at this point, child's play."
The troopers begin to return fire, trying to catch at least one more of those Broadkill. Nope, that's 2 hits. Actually, 1 with a raise. So, we'll roll those. Alright, that's 6, 12, 16, 21. It's those. Yep. And one of the cybernetic ones suddenly goes haywire. His arm starts blinking as a shot goes through it. And then he just starts tearing the arm off, screeching and clawing and crying as he drops to the ground. We go to... Alright, it's now Micah's turn. With his D8 fighting roll, he is going to single action this one. Actually, he's going to multi-action penalty. Yes, yes, yes. And instead of trying to cast Deflection, he's going to cast Smite. So it's a D6 plus 1 to see if he activates. -2 for multi-action penalties, so it's -1. That works. Okay. He rolled a 5, so he now gets to add a total of +3 or +4 to his damage roll. Okay. That requires him to hit first, though. So even with the +1, 6. Okay. 12, 14, 15, minus, yeah, so it's 13, so it's a hit, no raise, 2d6, and a d8. And this is +4 for this damage. Oh, nice, okay. So that's 8, 16, and the 8 and the 6 blow up. 16 plus 8 more. That's 24. Hey! Yay! Great job, Micah. You are the first one to get a hit against this Broadkill. It's 1 wound coming in. He's going to spend one of his bennies to try to soak it. Yeah, that's how that works. Oh, and he rolled Snake Eyes! Alright. Well, he is now shaken, and he takes 1 wound. Micah, as he watches Amadi tries to catch his attention, the creature comes up with a heavy swing, laughing, and he suddenly scores directly across the creature's arm. Just,
Oh, shit. What the fuck?
as a thick black ichor begins to burn through the arm. He turns around. He's like,
No. You will not be doing that today.
so we now go from him over to the one Techno Warrior who's going to take his 3 shots. And not one of them hits. Begins to fall back, trying to take these shots, getting to the unaugmented one. We go over to the leader, who's -1. He's going to try another sweep, so that's a D12 to hit both. So let's see, that's a 10. She's got deflection, which makes that an 8. Is that a hit with a raise against him, or just a hit? Just a hit. It's a free action. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a hit against Micah. Still not great, though, as this creature hits like a fucking freight train. 2d12 plus 6. Alright, so that's 14. So yeah, so that's going to be... Ooh. Right off the bat, he now has 1 wound. Micah tries to parry it. He's just a hair too slow. The blade cuts across, and the kind of almost cosmetic metal of his armor splits. Underneath, though, we see that while this sword looks like it is... Oh, actually, he needs to make a spirit check to see if he becomes unshaken. And it's -1 for the attack roll. Things I should be paying attention to. Actually, none of that happens because the creature didn't even unshake. Shit. That's why shaken's an important status to keep track of. It tries to back away a little bit, the 2 blades, keeping it at bay, as both Micah and Amadi just kind of like beat backwards. Tips of the blades coming close to it. It tries to raise the flaming sword to parry. I'm going to give this Broadkill his last turn. Well, maybe his last turn. We'll see. Well, that blows up. Oh, shit. So it's not with a raise. That's, yeah. 5d6. Alright, so that's 8. 11. 16. Another one of the soldiers trying to hide behind, gets up on the gunner's turret, and then suddenly just gets sniped. We're going to roll on the combat actions table again, because I want to see, are these creatures still going to continue fighting now that they're starting to lose numbers at a faster rate with 2 Cyber Knights keeping them at bay. 51 is hasty. That sounds like a retreat to me. 23. Hasty change. Yep. I'm going to ask a fake question, of course, here, which is, do they try to beat a hasty retreat? I'm going to say this is likely given that roll, so it's a 65 or lower. 91. Nope. It's not an exceptional no, but it is a no. They do not try to beat a hasty. So, the change here... oh, I know what it is. Just roll real quick. Do the Broadkill suddenly start throwing their grenades? 9. Exceptional, yes. Okay. So, we need to redeal because the Broadkill are going to change their tactics. Figuring that if they start losing limbs from throwing grenades, it's not going to affect them nearly as much as it will these thin humanoid elves. And so the Broadkill start all grabbing these like little cylinders at their hips. Just start enjoying it. All right. Troopers get the king. Amadi gets a 6. Micah draws 2 6s. Oh shit. The Broadkill gets the Joker. The Techno Warrior and the other Broadkill get an ace. So all the Broadkill get to go first. I'm going to say the leader is... He's got to make his spirit roll, but he gets a +2, so it's a +1, given the fact that he's got 1 wound. So he unshakes. And he is going to make his fighting attack and then try to move out of range. Actually, no, he's got Berserk going, so I'm going to say he doesn't. He would need to make a spirit check to come out of that. Alright, so that's 12 total. It's going to hit both of them. Actually, for her, it's a -4 to current, or -2 to currently get hit. And her parry's a 10, so nope, they both get hit. So we're going to roll the 2d12 damage and see if both Micah and Amadee. Oh, that's not good. That's 15. 15, 18 damage total. Her toughness is a 17. They both take a wound. The blade flashes out. It catches both Micah and Amadee surprised. Now the armor splits back, and we could see underneath is almost this organic armor that clings to their skin like it was painted on. But there's now a split, and blood is beginning to pool out. The flames from the sword lick against the outside, and there's a sizzling, popping noise. The Broadkill just begins to laugh. At the end of his turn, I'm going to try to give him I think it's a smarts, which is not a strong suit. Even -1, though, he manages to come out of Berserk, and he is going to start backing out. Now, this will give them attacks of opportunity. Now, both of them are at -1, just given the fact that they are, they've taken a wound. Nope. Micah misses. Amadee. That's a 10, so that does hit. Hers is 3d10. (12, 13), but it's not enough damage. This creature then backs up, getting in line with some of his other troops. He begins barking to them. And this one is going to pull a grenade. It just starts laughing. And he rolls it underhanded towards them. It's a 4, so that's a success. The grenade. What kind of grenades do they have? Oh no, this guy doesn't have any grenades. Well, the leader hands him one. It's a frag grenade. Those do. Where are... There they are. Oh. Pfft. Okay, 4 ones. The explosion rips forward. And as it goes off, both of the Cyber Knights, they kind of twirl. You watch as they bring their blades to cover their faces. And suddenly the shrapnel goes off. It pierces through the cosmetic armor. And both of them underneath just kind of like cloak. As the smoke begins to clear, the other one rolls his grenade over. The D8. Oh, but doesn't get it far enough. At 11 o'clock. So that would be that direction. I'm going to say on a 1, roll a D6 on a 1, he throws it towards friendlies. No, okay. The explosion as he throws it, it deflects off. Micah spins quickly, backhands it with his sword, and the grenade goes off inside an abandoned shell of a house. So that is all their turns. The troopers are going to start firing, trying to catch the retreating Broadkill. That's 2 hits, 1 with the raise. Nice, now they show up. 9, 10, 11 points of damage. It's not enough on the first shot. Second shot. 8. 13. That's, again, not enough. Alright. So now we go over to Amadee. She, she's got the speed. She's going to run. She catches back up to the Broadkill leader. And she just kind of shouts at him, "No, do not get away that easily. You've been plaguing my lands. It's time for you to go." Fighting the D12. And come on, where did the D12s go? First attack, that's 2 hits, 1 with the raise. Good job, Amadi. Alright, so that is 1, 9, 12, 23. 23 plus 4 is 27, so she scores another wound on this nasty creature. Suffers forward, pitching, trying to claw her away. Just get away, bitch. And because of course they're bad guys, they're gonna curse like that. That's a 12. That one blows up. 18. That's not enough on the second strike though. She tries to catch him with the same thing, and he kind of batters it away, parrying. We go over to Micah, who comes running forward, and he's going to take his swing. Nice, that blows up. Oh, 16. 16, 23, so he gets hit with a raise. So that's now 3d6 and 1d8. Plus d4 on this. Or not d4, but 4 points of damage. What is that? That's 6, 12. Pfft, that's some shit damage, man. Micah can't seem to get past, even with the kind of like change in direction. He starts swinging at these creatures, but the obvious wound that he's taken is causing him no end problems. All right. Troopers get a 2. Amadi gets a 5. Oh, nice. He gets the Joker again. Good job, Micah. You're very lucky. 4, 7, and a 6. All right. Give him a Benny back because he needs it. And now, combat actions. 84, spy. 98, spy waste. Okay. Moral question here. As these two, as Micah and Amadi square off, Micah sees off in the distance another group of these broadkill. They are walking into houses, and all you see is just flames begin to leap out and people screaming. I'm going to ask a fake question here, which is, and I'm going to give this 50-50. Does Micah break off this attack? Or no, does Micah stay here and fight instead of going to go try to save his people? Does Micah stay and fight is the question. 82. Which means no. Micah, seeing this, he turns back and, we've got to take care of that. Those are our people. And he runs, leaving the leader behind, who is going to take an attack of opportunity against, or, free action attack against him. That is D12. Nine versus a parry of 7, which is reduced right now to a 6. So that is a hit. And so, where's that other D12? Micah, as he tries to run away. Oh, nice, 6. Gets smacked in the back. But turning and running on his own, he leaves his sister behind in this battle. And I think that is a great place for us to stop for now. He does. I'm going to give him a Benny to start off. I'm going to give him a Benny to start off the next game. But I think also Micah kind of suddenly abandoning his sister to go do what should be the right thing is a perfect example of why 2 obligations as a hindrance can be a terrible thing. So thank you for joining on this new adventure. I hope to hear from you next time. Feel free to leave any ratings, recordings, and questions you may have on Spotify for me. Hope you have a good night.